Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show what actually the pod, how the benefits of the pod, and how we are going to create the pods into our Kubernetes cluster. So for more descriptive videos and PPT related to this Kubernetes pods and other things, I have one PPT created and uploaded into the SlideShare account. I'll be posting the link for that. So you can be visiting to that SlideShare and you can download my PPT and you can understand more in depth about the pods. For this demonstration purpose, I'm going to show a very brief overview of the pods and I'll be showing you the example how we can create the pods. So pods, what actually the pods into the Kubernetes cluster? So as the Kubernetes definition itself, you can see it is saying pods are the smallest deployment unit of computing that you can create and manage in the Kubernetes. This is the one of the most perfect answer for this pod. And the pod is nothing but the group of one or more container that we are making use in our Kubernetes cluster. I'm not going to torture you by reading all these things, even though you can be able to read it your own. And it is the official documentations which is going to talk about the pod. Here we have to show how to make use of the pods and what are the uses for that. So you can see there are a couple of the benefits of the pods. By making use of that, you can work into the Kubernetes cluster. So pods are pods that runs in a single container, pods that run into the multiple container to work together. Like that, we have the detailed descriptions available over here. How pods manage multiple containers. So this is the basic example. Now I'm not going to further read this one. What I am going to do, I am simply jumping into this example mentioned over here in the Kubernetes itself to show how you can create the pods. Okay, so let me copy this example first. Okay, and come to my notepad over here. What I need to do is I need to update a few things over here. In the case of metadata, you are simply saying seeing the name and value is hello. But if you make use of this YAML configuration to create the pod, by default it is going to create into the default namespace. But as I promised you that every pods and which we are making use into our example that I'm going to create inside namespace. So how to edit that one? You can simply click over here and put the things like this one, namespace, and give the namespace name. So it's the my cluster that we have created earlier. Okay. If any further change space and for more detailed descriptions about this one, please refer my PPT. What I'll be sharing the link in the description. Even in the busy box, I'm leaving all these things as the default itself. Okay, this is the basic example. So I'm leaving all these things as the default. Now, how to create the pod? So simply come over here, make use of any of the editor. So pod name I can give like a hello.yaml is the configuration file. Okay, in this one I am pasting the configuration pods details what I have just shown you into my notepad. Control X, then save, and then come out of this one. Now inside this one, if you execute the kubectl apply -f, and next you need to give the YAML file name hello.yaml. It will create the pod for you. You need to wait, and you can see here it has created hello created. Okay, now what I can do, if you execute this command kubectl get pods, execute it, and now you can see it is saying no resources found in the default namespace because we didn't mention that from which namespace it has to show the pod details. Okay, so by default it will always try to pick from the default namespace. To overcome sorry, to overcome this problem, we need to specify here the flags. Either we can specify the namespace equal to my namespace name, or we can make use of the option -n. It will internally understand. Okay, now we need to make use like this one. So now it will this kubectl, the admin CLI for the Kubernetes, which is going to search the pod details inside this my cluster namespace. Now you can see here it has got it from the pod from the my cluster, and it is saying this is the particular cluster, which is 1 out of 1, means there is only one replica for this cluster, and it is started. The status is running. Okay. So we have further more detailed descriptions how we can see this one. So let me show you that as well. Leave all this kubectl -n my cluster as it is. Now we have the command describe pod for description. For getting the pod description, you need to specify this name. Okay, so how to specify the name? So simply copy this pod name and get into over here. You will see the description. Oh, sorry. This is for getting the pod. For getting the description of the pod, we have the command describe pod and pod name. Flag can be replaced. Okay, what you can do, we'll try to replace this one with the name of this. Equal to my cluster. Okay, we are missing some syntax. Let me further type it. Okay. Unknown command, my cluster in the kubectl. Okay, we'll further come back to our original namespace syntax. Kubectl -n. Oh, something wrong with this what I'm doing. Give me a minute.